Lately, I've been craving a packing challenge. I can easily pack for Japan in a carry-on suitcase and personal item bag. I can even reduce that to a 28-liter backpack. But how minimal can I go? Can I pack for a 10-day summer trip to Japan in only this 18-liter day pack? Let's find out. I'm taking on this challenge to satisfy my own curiosity, but I hope it's also helpful for those of you struggling to pack light. For example, if you book a flight on ZipAir from North America or Asia to Japan, the included luggage allowance is a carry-on and a personal item with the total weight not exceeding 7 kilograms or 15.4 pounds. And while 2 bags are technically allowed, it would be extremely difficult to pack both and stay within that weight limit. A typical carry-on suitcase weighs about 7 pounds, taking up half the weight allotment. In order to maximize the amount you can pack without paying extra, it's strategic to pack into just a lightweight backpack. And don't worry, if you plan to shop in Japan, you can buy a suitcase in Japan, fill it with souvenirs, and pay for a checked suitcase for only the return flight. In order to have a concrete example to pack for, I'm basing this on the first 10 days of our upcoming summer trip to Japan. In reality, our trip is much longer, but if I only had to pack for those 10 days, what would I pack? The first 3 days will be spent sightseeing in Tokyo, followed by 7 days on the subtropical island of Okinawa. I'm accustomed to packing for city sightseeing in Japan, but this trip throws in some unique scenarios. In Okinawa, we will have some beach time, and we will also camp for 5 nights in a camper van. Our trip is during the second half of May. For Okinawa, I expect warm, humid weather with temperatures ranging from 21 Celsius, which is 70 Fahrenheit, to 29 Celsius, 84 Fahrenheit. It's also the beginning of rainy season. For Tokyo, I expect hot, humid weather, but of course, I'll need to check the actual forecast as the trip gets closer. The first category to tackle is clothing. Personally, I would be comfortable bringing 4 outfits for myself, but in order to downsize my bag, I need to reduce it to just 3 outfits. That means wearing 1 outfit on my travel day and packing 2 outfits into my backpack. Going from 4 down to 3 outfits was harder than I expected. After removing a piece, adding a piece, removing another piece, I finally got there. I selected 3 tops, a long sleeve top, a tank top, and a short sleeve boxy tee, 3 bottoms, a midi length twirl skirt, a maxi length skirt, and a pair of hiking pants that convert to shorts. 3 layering pieces, a rain jacket, a short sleeve shrug, and a 3/4 sleeve cardigan. Each outfit has a pair of socks plus bra and underwear. I'm also packing 3 pajama pieces, a pair of bike shorts, a pair of leggings, and a camisole. The bike shorts and leggings could also be layered under the skirts. Let's look at the base outfits and then how I can mix and match them. A thin, long sleeve pink top paired with a midi length lavender skirt. Even though it's a summer trip, I want to pack a long sleeve top as sun protection. The UV index in Okinawa is really high and it's easy to get sunburned. An aqua tank top paired with a long pink skirt. If I want to cover my shoulders, for instance at a temple or shrine, I can add this aqua shrug. A lavender boxy tee with blue and lavender hiking pants. I purchased these pants from Cotopaxi specifically to have something to wear around the campground in the evenings. They can serve as mosquito protection, plus they're sturdier than my merino wool skirts. And if we do end up going to Junglia Adventure Theme Park again for zip lining, I can wear them there. If I wasn't going to Okinawa, but sticking to cities like Tokyo and Kyoto, then I would swap out these hiking pants for my wide leg flowy pants. This is also my travel day outfit to wear on the airplane. If I get cold, I can add the 3/4 sleeve blue cardigan. And to prevent my backpack from busting at the seams, I'll include my rain jacket as part of my travel day outfit, even though I probably won't wear it while I'm on the airplane. My hat is also included in my travel day outfit. Personally, I don't mind washing and re-wearing the exact same outfits. I'm used to it as a digital nomad with a minimal travel wardrobe. But I know a lot of you want to be able to mix it up to have more variety, so here's what that would look like. The purple skirt can pair with a pink long sleeve or matching purple boxy tee or aqua tank. Add the aqua shrug if I want to. The pink skirt can pair with the aqua tank, or pink long sleeve, or purple boxy tee. The hiking pants can pair with the purple boxy tee, or convert them to blue shorts and pair them with the aqua tank. Add the blue cardigan for a bit of warmth. Since we will have beach time, I'm packing swimwear, including a long sleeve swimsuit plus a cotton sarong. I normally wear a swimsuit and a long sleeve rash guard, but with this surf suit, it's like a rash guard and swimsuit in one. I normally pack a thin cotton Turkish beach towel, but that's too bulky for my backpack, so the sarong will double as my towel. Here was my thought process behind piecing together this minimal travel wardrobe. First, I started with a light summer color palette. Not only because this is a summer trip, but because that's my personal color season. Then I started testing possible outfits by wearing them during our daily walks on the beach to see how well they held up during hot, humid weather. I also took a photo wearing each possible outfit and pasted those into a Canva document so I could rearrange them and see visually which pieces coordinated the best. With the exception of my swimsuit, sarong, hiking pants, and rain jacket, everything else is made of merino wool or a merino wool blend. I'm a digital nomad, so my entire life is either traveling or living abroad. Over the years, I've been upgrading my travel wardrobe to better handle hot, humid climates. I am tired of walking around in the sweltering heat in a cotton t-shirt that is drenched in sweat. When I finally discovered merino wool dresses and skirts, there was no going back. Probably my favorite thing about merino wool clothing is that it dries quickly. When we stay in a vacation rental in Japan, we hang dry our clothes, and our merino wool pieces are usually always dry by the next day. In contrast, cotton can be a pain to dry, whether hanging it to dry or using a dryer in a hotel laundry room. On this trip, I'm hoping to find washing machines, but if not, I can hand wash a couple items and count on them to dry quickly. Currently, most of my wardrobe is by Smitten Merino, which is a family-owned Australian brand. I like their classic, feminine styles. Thin merino wool clothing is also lightweight and compact to pack. Setting aside my travel day outfit, I can pack my other two outfits into the sweat bag, along with undergarments and socks. Plus, I'll include a cotton laundry bag. The bag of clothes weighs 2 kilograms, not bad out of 7. I'm planning to bring 2 pairs of shoes. I will pack my sandals into the backpack and wear a pair of closed-toed shoes onto the airplane. My Earth Runners Alpha sandals are versatile since I can wear them for walking. They have enough traction for light hiking, and I can wear them in the water, whether at the beach or if it's raining. The canvas footbed does take a while to dry, but it's supposed to prevent my feet from slipping and sliding inside the sandals. I actually still need to get a pair of closed-toed shoes. On our last Okinawa trip, my leather tennis shoes got typhooned on, did not dry overnight, and got rained on again, and eventually they molded. Here are the minimal toiletries I'm packing. The powder shampoo, which lathers with water. This is super lightweight, so it's a great non-liquid option when packing in a backpack. An exfoliating cloth with a little bit of unscented soap. I'm sensitive to fragrances, so I want to bring this soap along just in case. Deodorant, face sunscreen stick, plus a bigger sunscreen stick. I will buy liquid sunscreen in Okinawa. Laundry detergent sheets for hand washing, my travel razor, lint roller, and a foldable hanger from Daiso for hanging a skirt. I can pack in a Daypack and still bring a hanger. A mesh pouch with lip balm, tinted lip balm that I bought in Japan. A case with needle and thread plus bobby pins. I took a hotel sewing kit and I switched out the thread colors to match my wardrobe. Foldable brush that I actually got from a hotel in Japan. I'm including it since I want to know the total weight of my bag. Foldable comb and hair ties. I pack my toiletries into a waterproof pouch by Kenval. That way it's fine if anything is damp when I need to pack it. My toothbrushing supplies are packed in the separate simple pouch for easier access. Foldable toothbrush, floss, and tooth powder, which is my preferred solid alternative to toothpaste. Now for my clear liquids bag, 2 pairs of contact lenses. Instead of a bottle of contact solution, I'm packing eye drops. These are sterile eyelid wipes, lip balm that has sun protection, these cool makeup packets that I bought in Thailand. Instead of a full-size mascara, I can pack a flat one, and foundation. The makeup isn't really a must for me. I just thought these little packets were so cool. I'm not packing an eyelash curler, but if I did, I would opt for a compact curler rather than full size. I also have 1 packet of liquid wool wash. Next are day bag essentials. My umbrella parasol, which is crucial since I'm expecting both rain and bright sun. This foldable one is not as cute as my larger parasol, but the larger one takes a checked suitcase to fit inside. My super lightweight titanium water bottle by Snow Peak. Not everyone brings a water bottle for Japan, but I think it'll be good to have for camping. Also, the original inspiration that got the wheels in my head really turning regarding packing in only a day bag was the idea of someday hiking the Kumano Koto Trail, which is a 5-day pilgrimage in Japan. I would need 2 water bottles for that. While you're on the pilgrimage, you can use luggage forwarding, but I would rather pack everything I need in just a day pack. I also have my glasses case where I put my eyeglasses during the airplane flight. I have transition lenses in my prescription glasses, so I don't pack separate sunglasses. A headlamp for camping. This is a little medicine pouch where I have basic medication that I would want to have right away without needing to visit a pharmacy. An emery board nail file. I've reduced my small nail clippers and foldable nail file to just this. Earplugs. My tiny tweezers are in here, along with some floss. One option to use as my day bag would be to partially empty out my Cotopaxi 18-liter day pack and use it while out and about. However, I feel like that would work better if we were staying in a hotel room where I didn't mind leaving some of the items rather than in a camper van where I want to keep it more organized. I decided to pack a super lightweight day bag. This Tobic Splash Pack is a waterproof 19-liter backpack. This will be good both if it rains and for taking to the beach. And here's my hack. ZipAir allows you to pay for an extra 8 kilograms weight allotment for your carry-on bags. So for the return flight only, I would pay for the extra 8 kg and load this backpack with souvenirs to bring home. My purple backpack plus the teal one would count as my personal item and carry-on to bring both onto the airplane with me. I have some items packed in the front outside pocket of the splash pack. Hand towel in a wet bag, my Goshuinsho book for collecting red seals at Buddhist temples, my Eki stamp book for collecting stamps at train stations and attractions, this empty pouch which is for collecting tickets and receipts. This is a 2-sided pouch. In the back solid side I have menstrual products and a trash bag. On the mesh front side I have a daily garbage bag, tissues, wipes, soap sheets for washing my hands, packets of electrolyte mix, mosquito repellent stickers, a handkerchief, and face masks, which I wear when I'm coughing. Plus, I have my trusty Shapato grocery shopping bag. This is not one bag travel. This is a bag in a bag in a bag packing method. My absolute most important essentials are packed in this Cotopaxi 1-liter shoulder bag. I can wear it crossbody or even as a belt bag. Passport and international driving permit. Each one is protected with a plastic baggie. Smartphone. I'm planning to buy the lanyard that attaches to the case so I can wear my phone around my neck. A super slim Anker MagSafe power bank for recharging my phone on the go. My wallet. This is the mini wallet by Bon Maxi. It has a spot for coins, but I had to dump out all of my Japanese coins to stay within the weight limit. Remember to spend your coins before you leave Japan. Inside, I can keep bills. I have some Japanese yen left over from a previous trip. I keep my debit card for withdrawing cash from the ATM. Also, a credit card that does not charge foreign transaction fees. My driver's license. A plastic Suica card for riding trains and buses. Even though I normally use a digital Pasmo on my Apple Watch, which I would be wearing, I should add my travel health insurance card to my wallet. In the front pocket of this 1-liter bag, I have my tiny purse essentials. Lip balm, Fisher Space Pen, rechargeable flashlight plus a whistle, earplugs, and an AirTag for tracking. My charging pouch, a compact GAN charger, which stands for gallium nitride charger. This allows me to charge 3 devices at once. I can plug in the cables for my phone or power bank, Apple Watch, and headlamp. My tiny flashlight can also plug into the USB-A port. I also have a simple pair of wired earbuds that work with my phone. For entertainment on ZipAir, I would download some videos ahead of time onto my phone. And an AirTag for tracking my backpack. Let's get packing. Here is everything that I will pack into my backpack. Sandals, swimwear, clothing other than my travel day outfit, toiletries, day bag essentials, 1-liter shoulder bag, plus quick access items. The backpack I'm using is the new Cotopaxi Allpa 18L Daypack. I needed a new personal item backpack since my Campbell backpack took a tumble out of a luggage locker and got damaged. I was browsing my favorite brands and fell in love with this Aster colorway, which is a beautiful lavender color. The first thing I always check when shopping for a travel bag is the weight. This backpack is light, weighing just 0.66 kilograms or 1.5 pounds. It holds 18 liters and the dimensions are 17 inches by 11 inches by 8 inches, which are within the specifications for a personal item bag on ZipAir. The front material is TPU, which repels water, but the zippers aren't waterproof. I also bought a 25-liter rain cover that I would use for multi-day hiking, but not for this particular trip. I'm packing just the backpack, but if you want to use this backpack along with a suitcase, it does have a luggage trolley sleeve, so you can slide it onto your suitcase handle. Since it's meant as a day pack, this backpack doesn't open clamshell style like the other backpacks in the Allpa series. Instead, it unzips from the top as far as the side water bottle pockets. Along the back of the main compartment, there is some built-in organization. I won't be packing anything here for this trip, but for those who are curious, the laptop sleeve fits my 14-inch MacBook Pro, plus there's a sleeve for a tablet. First, at the very bottom of the backpack, I'm placing the wet bag that contains my swimwear. Next is my wet bag full of clothing. You could use a packing cube instead. I just love this bag. I have a whole collection of wet bags left over from cloth diapering my 3 babies. There's a pocket running down the front of the backpack. That's where I'm sliding in my sandals, packed flat in a Ziploc bag. If you're trying to stay within the weight allotment for your return flight, keep in mind that wet shoes or wet swimwear weigh more than they did when they were dry. Now for the pocket at the top of the bag, it has a dedicated glasses pocket, 2 little pockets, and a key leash, but I'm not using those. This pocket is where I'm storing quick access items. My glasses case, liquids bag, charging pouch, toothbrushing kit, medicine pouch, and headlamp. It's more spacious than it looks. In the main compartment, I'm placing my pouch of toiletries pressed towards the front, then my day bag essentials that are already packed in the splash pack, and my 1-liter shoulder bag. This only needs to be inside the backpack when I'm checking in or boarding my flight. Otherwise, I would be wearing it crossbody. Finally, for the outside pockets, my umbrella parasol on one side and my empty water bottle on the other side. Fully packed, the backpack weighs, drum roll please, 6.46 kilograms. We did it! The only thing going into my pockets are snacks. I'm quite happy with what I can bring. I didn't need to sacrifice anything that's important to me. I can bring both my umbrella and rain jacket, plus water bottle and glasses case. I even packed a hanger. If you think this idea of packing into just a small backpack is crazy and you'd rather take a suitcase with you, then please start from the beginning of this series and watch our Ultimate Japan Luggage Guide. That video has everything you need to know to navigate Japan with luggage in tow. Be sure to subscribe if you're planning a trip to Japan. Here on KENSHOQUEST, we share the most in-depth travel advice based upon over 20 years experience traveling to Japan.